Gaeilge Weekly is brought to you by Learn Irish Online. For way more shows, videos, podcasts and courses for learning the language, head to learnirishonline.com or patreon.com/learnirishonline.
You've been the best of times, you walk me through my darkest days. Why must I turn around? I ask myself. This just ain't fair, so hard to bear. I'm not really sure these days. You walk me, you don't
Mátanwa, Turnónama, good morning, good afternoon, Fáilteash Week on show, Fáilte Week, Gaeilge Weekly, agus, do chreidse, the raw, crazy, or unbelievable to say, ach, seo, agran, iver, an nócha, ní, episode number 99. Do chreidse, dumsa, Uranus, for me, anyway, because muchin sé cosú le, beidir caiki show hin, no, trí nó ceir seachtain ó hin gorámid agran iver seachta dó háart sin, so I don't know where the time is gone. His clínas bhfuil an tam imithe ach táid an so agus táid beagnach ag episode nó agran iver a chéad. So almost ash episode 100 a caith mé markdal have to survive seachtain bháin eile riv gur féidirlinn smaoinú faoi sin before we can think about that. But crazy, nothing too special next week for the 100th episode. Ní bhaid aonrad ro speisialta an tachtain sa huggin le haid agran iver ein chéad. But we'll definitely be reflecting a bit gone out by make déanú macniv Gaeilge Weekly agus céad episode céad agran te Gaeilge Weekly Déanta agin gcomhpháirtíocht seo. Beidir gúilte bh smaoinmh cén fá dhearann tú agran agus an sin episode agus is tócha as Gaeilge is féidir leat an dá ocail ará can say the two words in as beidir episode níos éasca an tuiscint, easier to understand episode ach agran really deagná nar tatú ag láirt faoi podcast faoi fud craile deagná deirtar agran, so agran beagní níos líofa beagní níos fearr ach má dearann tú episode fós by gach duine in an é sin a hiiscint agus fós dearann alán daoine episode, you know, kid from get ceart just beidir beagní níos líofa beagní níos nádartha a bit more natural, a bit more fluent chun agran ará. Ach rénas, luime an seo chun láirt faoin Gaeilge, tá mé an seo chun láirt trí bheán na Gaeilge, not here to speak about Irish but to speak through the medium of Irish. Agus an tachtain seo actually agenda scrífa sí sagam tá plan, well rough plan Uranus scrífa amach agam don show on tachtain seo and use it kind of as a jump off point. Going to talk about an tír seachtaine agus gothirthe inné tá mis ag tafaidú an luan cén dáta an séolá is fithe mí bealtaine 2025. I don't know why the year is important. Níl sagam cén fá bhfuil an bhliain tábhaach. I sometimes pre-record by more than a few days, but never a full year in advance. Ní, you know, bliain omláin right? Ach, yeah, tafaidú an luan so inné de dhaoine bhí méid fécins gá rás an war. It's like down no sail on motorsport. So I was watching two very big races yesterday in the world of motorsport. Well, I watched one in its entirety and another one just watched the end of it. So ceann one, you know, bhí méid fécins an rud omláin agus an sin an ceann eile just bhí méid ag fécins an gcuid dearnach an sin in Indianapolis. So gá rás caith mé é seo a bhíú, have to explain this. Motorsport generalta tá trí rás atá mar stocha na trí rás is mó in motorsport. So there's three races that are very much the biggest races, the Triple Crown it's called, but they're all in different disciplines. Tá si léir sport no category difriúil. So tá 24 Hour of Le Mans agus bíon an rás sin siúil ceapan mí meitheamh nó mí úil ní mór an réalaí arolalas agam faoin rás sin níor éach mé on Ross sin Riverside. Never watched that race up until now, and I might watch it this year, but being Searshul of Kara Oris Fehe, it's on for a full day for 24 hours, being Tur Tamaniha ag gach fern agus bíonn siad ag athrú na tománaithe I rith an lei agus I rith na hithe. So every kind of driver does a few hours stints, 2 or 3 hours, then they swap at a pit stop. So call no 3 hour click kan sin den she'd swap ag an pit agus mar sinja. So that's on, and that's really big one in endurance racing. So bíonn se sin shúil I mi úl no mi mehih nil sagam méidir gomrahan sé an linn. Maybe it depends on the year. Ach freisin tá an Monacó Grand Prix ceapam sin a ceann beidir is cáúla gan dáis in éireann agus timpeall na Eoraip sin an ceann is cáúla. So sin an Monacó Grand Prix sa Formula 1 in Formula 1 F1 agus comála sin bíonn an Indy 500. So sin 500 miles of the Indianapolis Speedway all in Indianapolis sna Stát Aontaithe an oval. So níos course ag so le Monacó le lan cúní de friúla just oval no speedway a glétar gomininic. So an rud beagnaín aisteach agus ní hiigem cin fá ó bhfuil sé cosúla seo ach bíonn an Monacó Grand Prix agus bíonn Indy 500 siúil an lá céine. Now I know tá na Rossi seo I category de friúla, they're on in different categories, different disciplines. So, you know, it's not like drivers are trying to do both on the same day. Níl sé cosúil go bhfuil tománaithe ag iar an dá cheann na dhéanú an lá céine ní churbe. Ach, this am cén fá bhfuil siad an lá céine. Now tá siad siúil like orintha friúla. So it's féidir leat mar fan mar duine ag leanúint an dá sport nó sport amháin agus an dá disciplines. It's féidir leat féchant an dá rás. You can watch the two races because Monacó's on first and then because the time difference marial an Tífreachtána being an Indy 500 iní sin beidir dig an ná tus níon an Indy 500 beidir gá ó go le chlig taréis a chréicníon an Monacó Grand Prix. So it's féidir leat féchant an dá cheann agus bhí na Rossi sin siúil inné bhuaí Lando Norris an Monacó Grand Prix agus an sin bhuaí Alex Palou as an Spáin actually as Barcelona ceapam an Indy 500 seálann sin sna Stát Aontaithe. Agus ní mé an dart faoin na Rossi iad féin nó na bútsaí nó aon rud mar sin mar cinnte nach bhfuil sé me go lán daoine ag éisteacht le seo I motorsport cinnte go bhfuil daoine éigen a rint daoine agus tá sim acu ach ní gach den ní an chud is mó so roiine on no ní ein rud few congrach le sin not even anything close to that. But I was watching stuff on Monacó and it did make me think about those places, you know, chuir mis ag smuoinú beaganín faoi na áitina sin. Tás grand actually le Monacó mar, you know, na tománaithe F1 is as a lá náitina friúla iad timpeall down. They're all kind of really from different places around the world. As Sasanna, as an rank, as an Spáin, well, so just timpeall na Eoraip. Ach freisin tá lad as Canada, tá lad as an Brazil, Monacó cheas, lad as an Argentine, agus an Austral, so áitina friúla timpeall an down. Ach an chuid is mó gan dát lá, ach ceapam níos mó ná lá jet na tománaithe, maybe more than half actually of the racers, of the drivers, tá siad in an gcónaí in Monacó. Agus tá Monacó an bhíog, like tá Monacó beidir lis an kick of mór agus atá sé ach micronation atá gceist ceapam tar éis an Vatican City, tar éis cathair Vaticána, tá Monacó mar an tír is lú down, nó beidir an dara tír is lú down, after the Vatican, the smallest or the second smallest country in the world. Tá sé an a bheog, níl sagam an scale of winning leis on the story. Can I actually just speaking about San Marino last week? I wanted to learn more about that. Bhí mé géirí fáil amach ar níos mó ólas all amach faoi sin mar scale aisteach atá insi gan dáis. It's kind of a strange story, definitely. You know, why is San Marino a country? Why is Monacó a country? Agus níl clue agam really. I don't really have a clue. Ach marial nach mín orthú na daoine in an gcónaí sin. Marial nach mín orthú because they don't have to cánacha I íoch nó íoch as cánacha because they don't have to pay taxes or pay for taxes on sin in Monacó. A lá daoine several saying siad an sin agus sin an sais residents atá acu. Sin fá amháin agus beidir an fá is mó nó ceant in the fána nó cúisina. One of the biggest reasons is mó a bhí na tománaithe nó a land in na tománaithe ina gcónaí in Monacó ach go mála sin an chuid is mód an na Rásanna I F1 bíonn siad ar siúil san Eoraip so tá se an éasca man tá tú Monacó ó thaobh tíreolaíochta de from a kind of geographical point of view tá tú congrach le chuile áit agus tá sé éasca chun dul gotí an Gearmán, gotí an Rank, gotí an Spáin, gotí an Idal, gotí an Bhreatain, gotí na áitna ina bhfuil na Rásí ar siúls in places where the races are on. I gcomhpráid le bheith I do chónaí sna Stát Déanta in comparison to live in the US, and apart from the 3 races that are on in the US every year, you're traveling 10 hours if not more to every single other one. So seachas na 3 Rás a bhíon ar siúl sna Stát Déanta gach bliain in Austin agus Las Vegas agus Miami. Chuile ceann eile tá tú ag taistil beidir 10 ó ar laiad san eitilt agus tá tú gíoch a lán airgid just eitiltí príváidsacha, private flights and private planes. You're spending a lot of money on those as well. Ach, yeah, látaigh sula Monacó. Tá mé gurí dul, ceap na lán in a Micronations sin, tá mé gurí dul fiú San Marino. Tá sagam nachfuil mór an simú. Well, ní ra mé ann, so níl mé gurí rá nachfuil mór an simú. Cínte go bhfuil, actually, a lán rudí simú. Ach ní sé cáú, there humans is sin will say that it's not very famous San Marino for it's got this, it's got that compared to the Vatican or no tá St. Peter's Basilica or St. Peter's Square agus chance go bhfuil tú hol an pápa a eáil nó Monacó mar go sé chomh sever agus on the bods or fad all the boats that are there and it hasn't changed much over the last 50 years. There's sé athraithe go mór le chuige bliain nús because there's not much space to change it, níl mór an spás acu an sin chun é a athrú. So bhhalam dul chun é eáil agus ar nóí mar fan allward in F1 as a kind of very big F1 fan. It'd be so cool to walk around the circuit mar, on circuit and sin just na shrouds in at the acu, but just the streets that they have, really. It's not like, tá purpose-built circuit, just doing siad na shrouds in or if I dare shot on a one for one weekend a year, agus being on F1 siúil an sin, so bheith sé Céad fan Gates here in Eiasca chun siúil timpeall agus siúil timpeall na shrouds in agus siúil timpeall an track agus landíní change siad an sin agus beidir fáin siad rothir don lá. They get a bike for the day and they cycle the track or the track layout and don lá bín tún sin le gná chorna. You're there with normal cars and not commuters, but people going about their everyday lives agus just gná daoine ag tin na gná rudí gach lá ag tamáint timpeall na háitse. So bín sé sin ar siúil agus even of dul le Monacó an le chostasach so má tá mé chun dul lá aigen if I go someday tá mé just an dul ar fáil literally an tróna nó lá amháin níl mé chun fannacht tharaithe nó ní ceapan gúil mé fiú chun well beidir béile amháin an sin lón amháin in áit sír ach tá tú ag leabhart for even most places there a main course probably 80-90 euro at least 8 na 9 euro ar a liad chance óád níos mó maybe a lot more. I'm not sure. I saw F1 drivers when they went for dinner once in Monaco. The bill came out and it was like 12 or 13,000. They weren't getting loads of stuff, just a main course eats, Bélo one, gach duine, agus cúpla duck, gach duine, sinné, cúpla starters, beds are, godá is tócha ordu a bhí ann. It was kind of a normal order, let's say, for a big group. Agus bhí like Gaeilge Captain 12,000 euro no heart there in Bryce sin now tá target ag na tamáni have fun bín siad sinnig tilla a lá an airgid tá tú gláirtrí beidir 10 milliún in aina bliana Verstappen, Alonso, Hamilton na tamáni is fearr bín siad sinnig fáil níos mó beidir trocha milliún in aina bliana agus an sin sponsorships Eoraip aon siad chomh leis an base salary cumá leis an gnáthluas as well as the kind of normal pay 30 million a year, but the normal contract, let's say, on gná chunra atá acu. So tá target acu cínte agus ar nóí tá siad in gcónaí in Monacó nó chuid mhór acu. The ones that don't live in Monaco normally live in Switzerland, in the tamáni eile nachfuil in gcónaí Monaco tá siad in gcónaí San Elvais, I think similar thing there. An rud cén an sin, a rud cosúla sin, an sin ní bhíonn siad ag mór an chánacha. Seachas ceapam nar bhíon na Rásí ar siúil an áitna dheofrúla ar fan down beidir gohfuil arthú cánacha I íoc sna tíortha sin. So because of that, it's even more important not to pay taxes where you're living. Tá sé fiú níos tábhairtí gan a bheith íoc cánacha an áit ina bhfuil tú a chonaí mar tá tú gach is Singapore tá tú gach sa Ratin, sa rank, sa German gach all Ross or shields everywhere there's a race they have to pay tax for that race because they earn money at that race, so therefore it's important where they live and not will siad in gcónaí nach will siad gach cánacha and sin. I mean, I'd say they'd still survive okay, but anyway, I suppose they want to keep as much as they can touch the geary on may just mo chuneal mar is féidir. So I was watching anything about it. I would love to go to Monaco, but equally there's so much stuff in Monaco, and I've never been the Rama in Sinreeve, so I don't know, and I don't like speaking about places that I've not been to. Ní hanín say gomor lum of ag lauert no gan naus ve ag lauert in mode size júltuk in a kind of negative way ag lauert sfiats in a monoraume sanach shin riv if I wasn't there before. But I'd imagine there's a lot of things in Monaco that would really annoy me. Along ruddy in Monaco, a churhook isteach maar I guess in general, I don't mind if somewhere is expensive. It's come along with the outside and, you know, níos costa sí. Mar sin an chuí bhfuil sé sa say, legus Jake ná má hín to watch because leis an Denmark an túil on Denmark, Sweden, Air, a few Ireland even agus tá sé costa. So yeah, tá na daoine ag tiile níos mó, people are earning more. So Jake ná ní bhín more an different really. Idir tíortha your friúil. It's not really relatively much of a difference between different countries in Europe anyways, in Europe arenos. Ach, like all things in Monaco níos mó ná bheith costasach more than expensive, because you can't expect somewhere so luxurious on the coast that looks so cool to be cheap. Like ní féidir a bheith súil, oh, be ceart go méid an áit seo sir. So, apologies for the quick interruption, but every so often I do put in these inserts in the show to talk about one or two things Learn Irish Online related, and it's as targeting advertising gets, because everyone listening to the Níos Simplí and the What Níos Simplí versions, I presume, is learning the language. So, just a quick reminder, on patreon.com/Learn Irish Online, there's two things you can do if you are interested in supporting Learn Irish Online, but more importantly, getting more features, more podcasts, more shows, more videos, and just more material overall to help you improve at your own Irish, both in terms of listening, speaking, writing, and reading. You can sign up to the Gaeilge Weekly tier, where you get all these episodes a day early. You get them 4 o'clock Irish time on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. You get them without these little ads whenever I put them in. On top of that, you get one bonus episode a month, and now you also get a PDF of all the most complicated or trickiest words used in each show. So that comes along for every version of the podcast, all made specifically for that version and the words that are used in that recording. Or you can sign up for the Learn Irish Online tier. You get all the things included in the Gaeilge Weekly tier, plus you get exclusive access to shows like éisteacht, leirish, smuinty sahar na gastrú, button na go, topic breakdown, and other benefits, including 20% discounts for all courses on learnirishonline.com. And the full membership, how much is that? It is only €7 per month plus VAT. So for most people, it works out about, I think, $8.20 or $8.30 a month. The Gaeilge Weekly tier is a bit less. It's only $3.50. The link is patreon.com/learnirishonline. All the details are over there. There's a huge amount of benefit for anyone who signs up and is learning the language. But if you don't want to, if you haven't got the time, if you're not going to get use out of it, we do not want people paying for stuff they're not going to use. We're still very grateful that you listen to Gaeilge Weekly every week, and we hope you continue to enjoy the show. Speaking of which, Rocky Mazzarash, Huigum Hain, back to myself, Eglarts beginning for Monaco, agus Gachrod, Eg Buinchlashin. An méid sin millionaires in gcónaí an seo, agus tá rarch na do creds agat, tá na bods an sin, you've the harbour and the boats and quay, agus Gachrod eile, agus, yeah, like, ní féid leat a bheith ag smaoine, oh, be ceart go méid an áit seo sir, nó ceart go méid gnáthreasanna ag an áit seo ar nóí, of course. Ba sé costasach, agus be ceart go bhfuil sé costasach freisin mar tá an targad ag ní gach denach an chuid is mó den na daoine in gcónaí and sin. Most people who live there have the money for that anyway, so that's fine. But more so the exclusivity of us, or even there's níos even is fúlam rudig sa sin fiú ag féchans ar cúpla rud, cúpla fí seán na thunig mé in Monaco, agus tá sé cóh like, I know tá daoine gích a lá argads a bheith sin, agus tá siad géirí ghfuil cuma cool ar thu, agus ghfuil clue agus caller who they want to look cool and they want to kind of be renowned and admired and stuff like that, and they want to make it out maybe that they're more famous than they are. Tushdi Giri on Evashin a Hermak will see Nis Kalula na Martashid, sa fearhéalt and or mar tá siad in áíir than they are in real life or than they are in reality agus méid caid an wristband seo a bheith agat an dulasteach sa zone VIP seo agus an sin cínsa like tá sé chud zachar chun gná bhéile all in áit gosil in Monacó. It's probably so hard to get a normal meal somewhere like Monacó. Cínsa gachar tá sé like pasta mar hampla ní aonn tú a piece of beag pasta fós tá ochras an downart taréis dit an pasta you're still really hungry after eating the pasta. It's €100 'cause there's a nice presentation and it's a fancy place and áit Galántacht tá gceist ach níl an service come on níl si jazz leat agus níl sam ní ra mí riomh an sin I was never there so maybe it's not true chance nach bhfuil sé seo friar but you're still not full afterwards agus fós tá ochras an downart and they have it lit on fire when it comes out and do something in front of you and like this doesn't change how it tastes ní raon sé seo on blas atá air on mia it doesn't change the taste of the food no ní raon sé seo an taithí really atá gceist fós tá mé chun an béile seo éthe agus fós ba ochras an taréis dom an béile éthe so cén difriocht íann sé what difference does it make if it's lit on fire they let off this little sparkler coming out for it when it gets to the table beidir leathaí daoine eile maybe for other people they like that but for me I'm like if I'm going to eat a meal I'm going to okay great good presentation is nice agus tá sé go jazz tá cuma jazz ar an bia agus ar an bláta ach, sure, to Isha, you're going to have to take it apart anyway. Gai tú a bhrisú sús chun é ar éanos, so rudí sula sé, though just VIP zones in general. Agus arís, listen, má tá an target agat an dolas seachan sin, agus tá an taithí go má, the experience is good. I ceapam an méid rudí sin, agus buinn siad just le a géirí Eva a churmach wanting to put an image out there goil níos má agat ná mar tá fiú na leihin the show ceapan níl an target ro hábhaach na leihin the show money isn't that important nowadays with a lot of these people it's more so Klaus mar deirta mBéarla agus is tóca an clue atá earth the kind of reputation you have a sin a rud is tábhachtí agus like the factor who that you're seeing in áit and le daoine eile le VIPs hí Jeff Bezos an sin an agus hí Zinedine Zidane an sin hí Kylian Mbappé bí níos mó celebrities agus níos mó daoine cáúla ag dul go Monaco ná aon Grand Prix eile I mean gach Grand Prix mar go le lán sais glamour agus ritz and glitz and glamour ag buint leis an fón na gcónaí bíon daoine cáúla an sin a go háirithe ag Monaco is stoch a land in na daoine sin tá siad in gcónaí in Monaco ná tá property tá teach acu ar réanos in Monaco. Yeah, and there's a lot of the sin, few couplor in my hail vi me VIP area beidir ag imocht sport, maybe at a sporting event, no a clubíha, a nightclub or something, just marial grau atnagum or going the egg because I knew someone or beidir vi machara globor on saying my friend might have been working there and I was allowed to go into the VIP or some type of special areas. Take an sin dumserenos anach is massa hunave, the worst place to be. No, an áit nach bhfuil aon crack an herbe, the place where there's no crack at all. Because it's just, again, people there wanting to show something, daoine an sin géirí rud éigean a haspáint, agus ní had níon sé sin lom herbe, dobasa mar hampla ag globíthe in a nightclub, a bhád ní sásta ar an rinca dausa, a lot happier for me, anyway, on the dance floor, ag buint tanamhagus, agus just gach duine ar chócéim, everybody kind of on an equal footing rather than saying, oh, this person is here because they're important. Few on focal a veep sin sa Spanish, Jersey veep ni Jersey the VIP here in Spain. But VIP, very important person. Well, nach will got then and again, if people are willing to pay money to go into X, Y, or Z, ultimately would end and you get better experiences if you pay more. Bín taithí níos fearr agat má tá tú géirí nó má tá an targad agat an íoch níos mó sin cearcolóir ach níos mó just níl me sé géirí a bheith an sin. I'd much prefer when everybody's kind of on an equal footing and just, it's not, I don't care if you're president or if you're a beggar, everyone's the same. Tá gach duine ar chulchéim in áitna cos le sin domsa. And, if people want to have their VIP zones, má tá daoine géirí na VIP zones a bheith acu agus rudí eile le sin cearcolóir and they make tuairtsamach fuhuach. I wouldn't even enjoy it. I think, like bheith mise óhadní sás don sin an trá in Monacó, an bhfuil trá in Monacó ceapan, tá sé an ghost ar rénos. I'd be a lot happier on the beach in Monacó, le cúpla budéal beor agus bíoní bí a cheanimúds an olwarga le mar chóirte ag éisteacht le piece of geol, listening to a bit of music and having a beer from the supermarket or a sandwich from the supermarket than it would be sitting down at a really expensive fancy restaurant where everything's just a bit fake áil gachard beganí breigach. Agus I mar sin láat an eile mar hamplan seo sa bhélas íhanam ihuach. I love eating out here and I love doing different things and more than happy to pay money for different things. Lán sásta ní ich as ready difriúil á gá tagan gus le Monacó ceapan cúilte beagna difriúil an seo sa bhéal fiú an éan, you know, fine to man tá Bígí níos margage, fine to rud ag an níos cool, you get something that is cooler and better quality kites and these sorts of áte so le Monacó ríis ní ra mé riomh I was never there, so maybe I'm not right chance nach bhfuil an ceart agam ach ceapam just go méich sé an méid sin says fakeness ag buint leis. There'd be so much fakeness kind of connected to it and so much posing mar dearan muid arás in éan agus ceapan go rud fear éan nach é gan a bheith géirí an rud sin again, though it's a very Irish thing maybe not to want to get involved with that or not to be doing any of that at all. Le pálam dul lá igen tróna igen just hon siúltípal má tá in níos mar hampla tá níos an na chungarch tá Genoa agus trin sa chungarch freisin gap I think Genoa an trin beidir ní trin a cúpla cathair sin an tíh idálach on the Italian side that aren't too far away from Monacó, so I'll definitely go someday. Like hopefully with help God agus siúl timp na hása agus an track eáil sin dream dumsa sin bringloads dumsach jeez níor watlam a bheith I chonaí an sin agus just an méid daoine an méid paparazzi actually ceapan gur chuir siad coscar an paparazzi bliantó hin I Monacó ag sin fá eile gohfuil na tamánaithe an sin just ní féid leat fóseo ní féid leat greengraph a thógáilte gine ag an gan an says cead wethúb so without kind of permission from them. Ach, yeah, Nilsam beidir go sin is farmer ar nói a Londini tad níon say go mór low. They really like living there a bit in the gcónaí an sin a cachtainna so on top feature there as well ní linn spás ní ceapan bhfuil mór an porcan an sin ag beidir nach bhfuil an ceart ag main duine Nilsam beidir gur cúpla duine an so a Gaeilge le Gaeilge Weekly grá siad an sin in Monacó. Maybe a few people listening to the show have been to Monacó before, so you can let me know. You can leave a comment or an email or something like that. liam.learnirishonline at gmail.com as King Hui around the Hahi on sin in Monacó. Yeah, we just chuir sin sin makes smoin up yugdin. It just made me think a little bit about those kind of places where it's not so much about what you're getting, it's about how you look and how other people are looking at so Hui will dinielig fechans or does mar. But yeah, as I said, I've not been, so who knows, they're on sin. But you know, even a lot of places in the Mediterranean, Marbella, few on Rud Gaina, Vime, Marbella, agus Talshe, because of the Shin, agus recently, Lynn crack of VIP zones in Marbella, no in Rud, Marshin, just a Londini, Eoraip Taspons, Goil, Budgel, Champagne, Aku, wanting to show that they have a champagne bottle and that they have money, or maybe they don't have money, but they want to show you that they do. Beidir nach Goil, Argad, Aku, Tashi the Giri, Gael, they want to pretend Goil on target shin Aku. But yeah, Landon Arse won the race. It's unbelievable if you've never seen the Monacó Grand Prix. The race itself, and Ross Féin is a rowa, mar tá sé an Zachar hun overtake a yenu agus ní mór an spás an sin nach just tá she there in the straws in Monacó, and the layout hasn't really changed. Níl an layout níl cro on track, the shape of the track hasn't changed. Níl sé ahrithe le cuigan ó seaca bliain níos mó not sin actually, so on a cool just to see an onboard lap during qualifying when they're pushing to limits they're touching brew like right as far as they could fada is gur féidir tá an a wa agus do chredsa nach bhfuil níos mó like nach bhfuil níos mó tashmi and sin is docha that there's not more crashes there agus nach bhfuil níos mó timpistí an sin. Mar like it would be so difficult even playing the F1 game on the Xbox view on Xbox or on PlayStation ag immert on fischlache F1 to should go Zacher on lap ag Monacó gone dullas shock swalla without kind of going in to the wall at some point. So if you haven't seen an onboard lap of Monacó during the qualifying session, look it up YouTube, onboard qualifying Monacó from any decade, any era. and all the eras kind of different, but the same layout really. On layout céan hasn't changed much. Níos deathraithe more on cúpla rud an seos an siúd, a few things here and there, just maidir leis an sábháilteacht and safety agus slándal na tamánaithe of security and safety of the drivers ach seach sé sin really mar an ggéine le bliontóin hin ar thosaigh sé in 1929 I think was the first one there. There was even, I think back in the 60s and 70s, a few drivers who went into the water, who went into the sea, into the, what's it called, the pier, I guess, or the harbour, on sin an cé, on sin who siad is teach mar ní rá mór on barriers and sin inis, you know, ní féidir le rud éigean cosú le sin tarlú sa látá neohon, something like that can't happen nowadays, mar tá made sin barriers acu agus regulations agus rudí difriúla agus freisin tá an reclaimed land acu an sin tá an áitina beidir agus bhí iscan sin bhí an airga an sin de nó fé blian ó hin ach canis tá siad cosú leis an ísiltíir like the Netherlands kind of taken back ag tógáil chuid den land den talamh sin arás, so tá sin simul freisin. But yeah, it's kind of made me think as well, because now we're in the European part of the Formula 1 season, you know, na Rosna idir inis agus mi Eurofóver, no, mi Bhionfóver Enos by she their fad well, by she the fad Shachas Cian Canada, apart from one in Canada in a few weeks, by she san Eoraip. I know in Niveen, and I'm sure Rowa Kahi, and I'm sure Veg Ma really lahi F1 no Kahi Shevet Che. Man bhfuil sé te ní Ibríon the buin, the tires don't work if it's not hot, so being, you know, Gachan, Silverstone, Ratin, agus San Idal, Monza, agus Imola, agus Barcelona, agus Monacó, agus an ísiltír Zandvoort an sin, san ísiltír in Holland, the Zandvoort track, being siad súil na Rossi sin idir mi bealtaine really agus mi Bhionfóver, mi Eurofóver. So mar eile sin bíod na gachtar seachtainna tá méid féchant ar an telefís agus, you know, ag feicáil áit ag an timppla Eoraip a síon somewhere around Europe, and it's kind of given me a bit of wanderlust, you know, fucking a wanderlust stocha in mBéarla, to maybe go on a big European trip again next year. I don't think I'll be doing any big travel or any big trips again this year, one or two here and there, maybe one more to Italy for a week and then a few trips home, of course to Ireland's cúpla tourists ar Rasca Héireann, to go back to Galway for a few weeks, and of course for Christmas and stuff agus ar nóid dal nullag. But I'm starting to think, you know, turning 25 next week, casú fiche cuaig an sacht an sehugan. And not that I'm getting old, as all ní will make Gary Shan, but you never know what's going to happen in the future, and moving back home at some point, I'm sure ag bugger Rasca Héireann ag points ag an Kinsa. So wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be lovely to go on one big trip, make sure I get it done for 2 or 3 months, maybe around Europe again. Timppla Eoraip rís runna mé tourists on the war, ar fa gábhí Timppla Eoraip ag gábhid fédó, kind of backpacking around on a bit of a shoestring budget. Now more in there I go, I did it, rinne mé, and I survived it. Just about. I know, not just about. We met out near our ain. We actually heard dinner Keshterm le déine on our ain Eipeasóid. You know, tusig tastal gavi igawds fedo de friúil 10 different countries on Turb, Bosnia, Croatia, Montenegro. The tír sin on our ain Eipeasóid on our Aglaert again points agus near now ar nóí mar far tá se bhain is éasca as a man or as a lad. I'm not a man, I'm a lad, I'm a boy. Mar bhuachal tá se bhain is éasca. I don't want to make myself sound old. The big Curie chur Gaeilge Weekly anna chean. Tá se is éasca ar nóí mar bhuachal ach bar bhuachal ní rá aon Eipeasóid nó ní rá aon pointse inar bhuaithí mé mí hábhailte. In Barcelona bhí cúpla buinte a bhuaithí mé beidir beagnaí mí hábhailte a few times in Barcelona. Felt a bit unsafe when I was living there, but apart from that, really, maybe in Dublin as well, few in Lochlia cúpla, but apart from that, there's never been anywhere else really where I've had issues near in Lostnella in or out 5 minute agam. Sin scale lá elach ag smaoinú, really getting chased for a big adventure next year, maybe save up a good bit of money over the next 6 months. You know, níos mar agad a hábháil and this journish agus dearna blina journish agus an Sarah Shahugan. I know this summer hasn't even started. Níl an Sarah Shaw tussy of host, but wouldn't it be great to do a big trip and go around the place, or maybe outside of Europe, even way to Eoraip, and get a big trip done. So whatever happens in the future, I can say I'll have done another one. But yeah, who knows? A long time until that happens on Father Riv. Ian McKenna sin before I make a decision on that. But we'll probably wrap it up for today. Sorry if today was a bit F1 focused, but I think it's more so about Monaco and my thoughts around exclusivity and all those kind of VIP areas and stuff in small na ein Rodella. So few mona will sim agat emotion sport beidir post vi to an tatniv of winch as and both the show. Maybe you're still able to enjoy this podcast. Big thank you for listening as always. Gurmina Magi as éisteacht mar is gnách, and I really hope tá súlagam Gomai Shiv in on tune on stock for a very special episode next week. Episode no agron on a speisialta and Sachtan Shogun. That is episode number 100, which I'm already excited about, and yeah, feeling very reflective, I guess. I was saying on Macklin kind of reflecting a lot this week, and it will be even more next week, I guess, between my 25th birthday and also the 100th episode of Gaeilge Weekly on the same week. So it's going to be nice. That kind of anything too special on. We're just talking a bit about the show and the history of the show and the future of the show as well. But don't worry, it's not stopping or anything like that. Níman son stop a chur leis an show no ein rud mar sin. If you want to get in contact with me, you can do so at liam.learnirishonline at gmail.com. Sinné, don Sachtan show, guys, Gurmina Magi, le Rome, live agron iver ein chéad an Sachtan shogun, slán agus bannacht, goodbye and God bless.